Before boarding, a man notices something eerie. The flight he is about to take is numbered 10:15, and the date happens to be the 15th of October. The flight was originally scheduled for 9:30, but got delayed, pushed back to 10:15. Even his boarding gate number is 10:15. These back-to-back coincidences put him on edge. He looks around, but doesn't spot anything unusual. Before boarding, Justin approaches the captain to ask about the situation.
Good flight today?
No, very good. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
The captain reassures him with confidence, so he pushes his worries aside for now. But the moment he steps onto the plane, he witnesses a passenger arguing with a flight attendant. A family of 3 wants to sit together. He realizes his seat is right next to this family, so he offers to swap. What he doesn't know is that this simple act of kindness is about to plunge everyone on board into a deadly nightmare. After stowing his luggage and settling in, Justin finds an MP3 player tucked in the seat pocket in front of him. On the screen, a message reads clearly, "The secret behind the mysterious disappearance of Flight 1015. Sheer terror washes over him, because Flight 1015 is the very plane he is sitting on right now. He immediately puts on the earphones. The player broadcasts a safety demonstration by a flight attendant, matching the live one happening in the cabin word for word. Then the recording predicts a rainstorm outside. Justin yanks open the window shade, and sure enough, rain is pouring down. Next comes a bone-chilling prophecy. In 1 hour, this flight will vanish completely from air traffic radar. Justin thinks it is absurd, but right then, the engines roar to life, and the plane takes off. The recording continues, mentioning Captain Donald by name, and at that exact moment, the captain is making his in-flight announcement. Deeply unsettled, Justin asks the passenger beside him if he caught the captain's name. The guy looks confused and says nobody pays attention to the pilot's name. Justin shows him the MP3 player and tells him about the predictions, hoping he'll listen and help verify. But the man thinks Justin has lost his mind and immediately moves to another seat. Left with no choice, Justin puts the earphones back in and keeps listening alone. Soon, the recording delivers a new prediction. At 10:21, a bird will strike the engine. The instant those words end, the clock hits 10:21. Justin is shaken to his core. He finally realizes these aren't just recordings, they're real death prophecies. Knowing the entire flight faces disaster in less than an hour, panic overwhelms him. He locks himself in the lavatory, trying to convince himself it is all just coincidence. Even though the cabin remains calm, he presses the call button. When a male flight attendant arrives, Justin anxiously asks if the plane just suffered a bird strike. The attendant flatly denies it, explaining they're cruising at 30,000 feet. Birds simply don't fly that high. Still unconvinced, Justin insists on speaking directly with the captain, but the attendant firmly refuses and warns him to stop spreading false rumors. With no other option, Justin apologizes, claims he was hallucinating, and promises to drop it. The moment the attendant leaves, a voice comes from behind him. A man named Beaumont strikes up a conversation, admitting he also felt the impact, and reveals he is a former professional pilot. Beaumont explains that, when a collision occurs mid-flight, the crew typically conceals it to prevent mass panic among passengers. He understands now, if that impact was real, then every death prophecy in that recording will come true. One by one, determined to prevent the coming disaster, Justin puts the earphones back in and listens to the entire recording with laser focus. It clearly predicts that, at 11:15, after the captain says "Good night, New York," the flight will vanish from radar completely. Less than an hour remains. Cold sweat drenches Justin's body. He knows he can't just sit here and wait to die. He has to find a way to stop this catastrophe. Justin starts pacing up and down the cabin, scanning for anything suspicious. He quickly spots a pair of twins watching a live stream on their phone. He rushes over and demands they turn it off. The twins tell him the phone is in airplane mode, it won't affect anything. Justin won't let it go and keeps insisting they power it down. As the argument escalates, a flight attendant steps in to mediate, and Justin is forced to back off and return to his seat. That is when the player delivers another crucial clue. There is a terrorist hidden on this flight, likely responsible for the crash, and there is also an undercover air marshal on board. Justin immediately scans the cabin for suspicious individuals. 2 men with thick beards catch his eye. He decides they look suspicious. To prevent tragedy, he finds a flight attendant and demands to speak with the air marshal. But she tells him that none of the crew knows the marshal's identity. Disappointed, Justin heads back to his seat. Along the way, he notices Beaumont has been watching him closely. He immediately concludes that Beaumont must be the hidden air marshal. Confronted with this accusation, Beaumont denies it outright, insisting he is nothing more than a retired pilot. Desperate and running out of time, Justin waits until the 2 bearded men fall asleep, then sneaks over to search their luggage. But a bag slips and crashes to the floor, jolting both men awake. They're instantly furious. Justin blurts out an accusation. Are they terrorists? The men are outraged and reveal they're professional soccer players. The commotion draws every passenger's attention. People crowd around, Phone's out, filming. The captain emerges from the cockpit to intervene, warning Justin that if he causes one more disturbance, he'll be arrested the moment they land. Justin has no choice but to slink back to his seat. Just then, the player replays the entire cabin argument that just happened. Justin spirals into full-blown panic. The recording repeats its core prophecy. The instant the captain says, "Good night, New York," the plane will disappear from radar. No sooner do those words end than the captain walks straight over to Justin, escorts him to the galley area, and questions whether he is mentally unstable. Justin keeps trying to explain himself.
In about 14 minutes, you will say the words, "Good night, New York." Don't do it. Do not say it.
Why?
Because those are the last words anyone will ever hear from this plane.
Suddenly, a female passenger steps forward and restrains his hands. She is the undercover air marshal. Because Justin has repeatedly spread panic and endangered flight safety, she restricts his movement and escorts him back to his seat. Time is almost up. He begs the flight attendant and the marshal to just listen to the recording. But the marshal doesn't buy any of it and warns him sternly. One more dangerous word out of him, and he'll be handed over to local police upon landing. Moments later, the captain returns and pulls the marshal aside, apparently to discuss something urgent. Justin immediately grabs the player and keeps listening. The recording announces, in a few minutes, the plane will enter a thunderstorm zone. Meanwhile, Beaumont takes the seat beside him, watching the captain's movements. A desperate plan forms in Justin's mind. Beaumont has professional flight experience. If the two of them can seize control of the cockpit and land the plane safely, they can prevent the crash. It is their only option, but Beaumont immediately shoots it down. The cockpit has a security code that only the captain knows. Then it hits Justin. The number 1015 has been appearing everywhere this entire time. He makes a bold guess. The cockpit code is 1015. To save everyone on board, they decide to go for it. Before they move, Beaumont grabs an oxygen canister from the back of the cabin and hands it to Justin. Only 1 minute remains until the prophesied 11:15. Beaumont strips off his jacket, strides toward the cockpit, and punches in 10:15. The door clicks open. The next second, violent sounds of struggle erupt from inside. Passengers descend into chaos. Cabin pressure drops rapidly, and one by one, people lose consciousness. Clutching the oxygen canister, Justin slowly makes his way toward the cockpit. When he sees a thank you message from Beaumont displayed on the cockpit screen, he freezes in place. In that moment, the truth finally hits him. The mastermind behind this disaster was Beaumont all along. Then, from inside the cockpit, comes that fatal broadcast.
Good night, New York.
Flight 1015 vanishes from radar completely. Some unknown time later, Justin wakes up on a desolate beach. Wreckage scattered everywhere. He is the sole survivor of the crash. That is when he spots the eerie MP3 player again. He sprints toward it, jams in the earphones, and listens to what comes next. The recording reveals the aftermath. Rescue teams searched for months before finally locating Flight 1015's debris on a remote island. Incredibly, every single passenger and crew member was rescued alive, except for one man named Justin, whose whereabouts remain unknown. Justin stands there in stunned disbelief. As he is reeling from shock, a little boy walks toward him. He rushes over to greet the child. But the next moment, all the surviving passengers appear, every single one of them, their faces twisted with rage. Justin panics and scrambles to explain himself. But right up until the very end, he never understands what he did wrong, and how that mysterious pilot Beaumont manipulated him every step of the way.